What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, the one, the only, your gamer, your spiritualist, Cosmoridius. I go by Duran or I go by Carnell. I'm definitely part of the Florence family. And probably the past 3 or 4 years, I've been making videos, gaming videos, but in the background, I've been a part of a curriculum where I've been re-educating myself about the world and about history and about being black and where the origins of spirit. That is my most focused endeavor in me seeking out information in this world so that we know, we understand what's happening. But I'm definitely going to be talking more on the side of my own personal experience and the things that I'm doing in order for me to really connect with myself and connect with the society and the things that society has done. And part of the thing that I'm doing in order to connect is I am becoming an Oneironaut. And if you don't know what that is, it's just basically somebody who wakes up inside of their dreams. Okay? This is probably one of the most interesting things that I've become involved in my life. And I've done a little bit. I've been in the military and I've been across the world at least once. So, but this experience with lucid dreaming trumps that for sure. So I'm here to talk about my experience, deep diving into my own dreams, and I'm here to maybe be a part of some kind of community. Now, this is going to be a series of different dreams, and I may even go so far as to detail 2 of the dreams in this one video. But we'll see how long this goes, because sometimes I have a problem uploading longer videos. Now, my first lucid experience came when I was staying with my mom and her husband. This was 2012, 2013, I think. We had a really big ice storm, and it was just iced all over everywhere. I think it was 2013, 2014, whatever. And so I ended up trying to walk outside, and I ended up breaking my leg. Right? So the experience that I had came directly after my leg. I broke my leg. And if you want to hear about this story about that, you can definitely hit the comments. Maybe I'll make a video about that. That's not really the things I'm trying to talk about, but it may be an entertaining story. I'm trying to get into vlogs and stuff like that. So let me see how many people are interested in it. But anyway, so this came directly after I broke my leg. I ended up going back to work within 3 days. Which I definitely shouldn't have done that, but kind of had no option. So directly after this time when I came back to work, I was working for a magazine book company, and they were consolidating a lot of their books and magazines because obviously this is modern day era, and there's not a lot of people that are reading books and reading magazines. They're doing all this online. So I ended up walking past the box that was inside of the office, and that week, or maybe even that month, I have been heavily studying lucid dreaming. Maybe it wasn't as active. It wasn't actively, but it was coming across my vision, or it was coming across my attention quite often. So I had already read up about a little bit about what lucid dreaming was and how awesome it was going to be, but I really didn't have any interest in doing it yet. So I was at work and I walked past this box, and it was a blue book inside of the box. Like the box was like, or the book inside of there was this shade of blue, like this, that shade of blue. So I walked past this box with the book inside of it, and I looked, and it was a book called Oneironautics, the study, a field guide to lucid dreaming. And that may not have been the title. I don't remember I don't actually remember it saying Oneironautics, but part of the title definitely was a field guide to lucid dreaming. And it was by these the only two people at the time that had actually used university to study lucid dreaming and lucid dreaming sleep patterns. And I picked this book up, and I showed my boss. Mind you, I've never asked my boss. This is a temp job, and I was trying to keep the job because I actually did enjoy working there. But this prompted me to never ask them for stuff. I'm there to do what they need me to do. Don't need to seem needy. But when I saw this book, something just made me act immediately. I picked it up. I went straight to my boss and I said, "Hey, you mind if I have this?" And immediately he was like, "Don't care. Take it. It's going to be that box is going to get thrown away anyway. You can have it." So I take the book home. I read 80% of it that day, and which I had time to read because I wasn't moving that much because my leg was broken. So I ended up reading about 80%. Didn't even finish it. I need to get that book back. Did not even finish the book. But I ended up reading 80% of the book, and I fell asleep. Okay. That night I had my first lucid dream that night. And from what I read, usually the subject is going to have their first lucid dream if they're really charged and excited about having lucid dream, because a lot of this deals with intention and you developing an intention that will allow you to create thought form even after you are asleep. It's like you're programming yourself to do stuff even when your body's not moving. So I ended up having my first lucid dream that night, and it was incredible. It was just incredible. I almost feel like I had been reading the book longer because I was doing things within, or maybe I was just doing it that much that day, where usually you're going to be creating habits in order for you to wake yourself up in the dream. So there's a pi symbol in my hand, right? Like this, like that. So I would take my hand and I would just look at my hand really intently, and I would ask myself, "Hey, am I dreaming? Is this a dream?" And I would trace the lines in my hand, and I would press against the surface. And these are called reality checks. I'm doing a reality check. I'm tracing my line in my hand, and I'm trying to figure out if there's anything fishy going on. Is this the right reality where nothing happens, nothing nothing unordinary happens, right? So I end up falling asleep, but while I'm falling asleep, I'm setting my intention. I'm saying I'm going to have a lucid dream tonight. I'm going to have a lucid dream. And there were other methods inside of the book. And I can't remember if the method that I used to go lucid and the method that I usually use to really induce my lucid dreams. I can't remember if I got it from that book or if I got it from just reading online. But this was a crown chakra, excuse me. This was a crown chakra meditation. Okay. So with the crown chakra meditation, you are pouring or you are visualizing this light pouring into your pineal gland. And basically you're just decalcifying this pineal gland using this energy. So I got to the point where I could focus hard enough where I could literally feel this beam of light. It was like a freaking laser pouring into my head, into my pineal gland. And it absolutely was creating an actual physical effect. Like it felt like my head was just about to explode, but it wasn't a pain, it was a pressure. So I did this, and almost every time that I've done this, I mean, I can't remember a time where I did this effectively and I felt that physical effect and I didn't at least have a dream that I remembered the next day. But a lot of times I'm doing this, I'm going lucid. So I did this that night, and I end up in the dreamscape. That's what I'm calling it. It's the dreamscape. It's a part of the dream that is locked within your subconscious. Right. That's where the dreaming. That's where these dreamscapes are coming from. It's your subconscious. So it certainly seemed like that too. I woke up in a warehouse. I worked at a warehouse. So I wake up and I'm surrounded by beams, just metal beams coming up and going to the ceiling. And this immediately throws me off because these are not beams or these are not objects that were typical for the warehouse that I worked in. So it already looked kind of fishy to me. So I'm looking around like, what's going on? Something's different. And I'm looking outside and it's nighttime, which I'm never at work at nighttime. I'll work during the day. So this is where I go, okay, let me check my hand. And so before I could even put my hand down and start tracing, I look and the lines in my hand are moving, squiggly, like that. I look at my hand like, what is this? And so I do my second reality check and I walk up to a beam and I press my hand against the beam and my hand goes straight through. There's a little bit of resistance. I could rest my hand on it, but then as soon as I could, it went straight through it. And just like that, I was awake. Oh, wow. I woke up in the dream. I did it. So immediately, I want to fly. That's what I want to do. That's the intention that I set. If I wake up inside a dream, first thing I'm doing is learning how to fly. So I look to my right, and the ramp doors. These are basically the doors that they open in order to unload the freight. Right. So the ramp doors are already up, and I can see outside, and it's nighttime. But I'm kind of gauging that it's more like early morning. That's what it really felt like to me. It was early morning. practically around witching hour. It seemed like a 2 or 3 o'clock kind of feeling. So I end up walking over to the open ramp door, and if you've never worked at a warehouse that has ramp doors like this, it's elevated, so it's about 4.5, 5 feet high. I'm about 6 foot, so it's about at my shoulder. So I'm standing above, like I'm standing. It looks like I'm standing pretty high. So I kind of drape my feet over the open ramp door, and I look up, and as soon as I look up, I start lifting off, and I start going higher and higher and higher and higher. So I don't really look down until the width of my body is completely above the door. And so that's when I start getting excited. So I'm like, okay, let's go a little higher. So I'm going higher, and I'm going higher, I'm going higher, I'm going higher. And that's where I start realizing, oh shit, I'm like almost getting above the warehouse that I'm working at. And so this immediately wakes me up. But the feeling that you get when you have this lucid dream, it's invigorating. It's not really a feeling that you can describe, other than it is absolutely freeing. It is absolutely freeing. So now I'm going to roll over into my second lucid dream. All right. So again, this is me refining the process. So I'm doing the meditation, the crown chakra meditation, like a freaking laser, really. I'm getting it down, and I can, most of the time when I'm meditating, it is a energy that envelops my entire body. But for the crown chakra, I am like really concentrating this beam of energy into something that is something like a laser, and hitting that pineal gland. I really feel like it's that decalcification that's happening. There's a vibrating that happens when the pressure builds in your head. What it really is you are raising a frequency, or you're raising your frequency, right? So I'm raising my frequency to such a degree that it is allowing me to have some control, some real control over this being. So I end up having my second lucid dream. Trying to remember it. Just blanked out. Okay, so every time that you wake up inside of the dream, right? This is a part. These are pictures and messages from your subconscious. So I wake up inside the dream, and I'm basically in a post-apocalyptic world. I'm in a building. The building looks destroyed, run down. It looks like fighting and explosions and shit have happened around it. And there's somebody there with me, but I don't engage, and he doesn't engage, and I do feel like it was he, and he doesn't engage with me. We just look at each other, and I'm immediately like, dream person, walk past me. So I walk off, and there's some stairs to my left. So I walk up the stairs, these are stone steps, and I walk up these stone steps into a room. And the room has cement walls. One, the right side, the door, the wall to the door, and then the left wall is all stone. But right in front of me is a window. I mean, it's like the whole wall was a window. And this is where I really begin to come into the full implications of what having control in the dream it really is. Okay, so I'm looking and I'm understanding that this part of the dreamscape is my subconscious. So when I'm looking out, I feel something beyond there. Yeah, I'm seeing something, but this is not you using eyes, right? So I'm feeling something that is beyond. And instead of me going back down and playing inside the dream, I immediately take the window and I shatter it. We basically have telekinesis. So I end up shattering the window. And the pieces are falling like freaking the Matrix. It's just falling so slow. And so I'm able to, I start flying and I just fly straight through the glass. And this isn't me like phasing through it, like me waking myself up and doing a reality check. I'm just moving so carefully and so deliberately that the glass is hitting me, but it's not cutting. It's just kind of moving, bouncing off of me. So I end up flying past the falling glass, right? So I'm flying. And at this point, I'm testing my flight capabilities. And I even developed a nickname, Mach 10. Like I'm moving at Mach speed. Like trying to breaking the sound barrier, basically. So I end up flying and trying to figure out how fast I can go. And after I'm done having fun with that, I'm looking down. And there's a huge castle in the background. Just a gigantic castle. And below this castle, it looks like a courtyard with a whole bunch of people. It looks like a marketplace. And before that marketplace, there looks like a village. So I end up flying down towards the village. And I land. And when I land, I could feel the dream like kind of reverberate. It was almost like you see in the Matrix where Neo was like flexing and the dream is flexing, or the Matrix is flexing with him. Like it felt like that, except it didn't feel like I had control over that. So I realized, oh wait, I might be waking up. So in a field guide to lucid dreaming, there are tactics for you to stay inside the dream. Okay, so perioding. I don't know if I said that right. Got close. Perioding basically means you just spin. So I feel like that movement meant that the dream I was starting to wake up. So I did a spin, and when I did that spin, it did feel like the dream stabilized. Okay, so right after I did this spin, there was a door to my left, and remember, I'm in a village. Okay, so there's houses to my left and right. I look to my left, and there's a door that's open, and I see something just sparkly blue come out. Or no, it didn't come out. They were coaxing me into this house, right? So I start walking up to it, and I realize this looks like a blue nymph or something. She's a sparkly, a fairy. That's what she looked like. She was like a full-grown, sparkly fairy lady. So a couple of years before, I had talked to a friend that was on Facebook that I don't talk to anymore, unfortunately, but she was an innate lucid dreamer. She said she lucid dreamed every single day since she was a little kid. So she said normally when she would go lucid dream, part of what she would do in the lucid dream is, have sex, have physical relations with imaginary creatures. But in the dream world, this does not feel like what it feels like here. I didn't full on get involved with this fairy thing, but she gave me fellatio. And the fellatio was like sparks. It was like fireworks going on. And if you can explain any of this experience, please feel free to explain this. I can kind of delineate a little bit as to what was happening. It definitely had more to do with the direct access to emotions, because you're certainly not doing anything actually physical when you're having these experiences. So you're come in contact with something else that is able to directly affect your emotions. So this is exactly what I felt. So after that was done, I'm still in a dream. I'm still in a dream, feeling good. Maybe even that experience that I had kind of served as another a period, or just another way for me to lengthen the dream. And so when I walked out, I took off flying and I flew to the courtyard. And this looks like a marketplace. There were shops. Eventually later on, because I had another experience where there were people there. So this seemed like a byway to me. This is a place where other people are going to, who are setting their intention and sending their avatars to this place. So I'm coming to this place, and part of the thing that's happening with the dream characters, especially in my dream, is they're not communicative. They don't say things to me. So when I go to the courtyard, I land. First person that I see it was a woman. So I turn the woman over, and she's smiling at me, and I'm asking the woman because before I did the lucid dream, I set an intention. I want to find my spirit guide. Holy crap! Was the blue fairy my spirit guide? So I go and I'm turning this lady over, and I'm asking, not rudely. That comes later. Not rudely, but I'm turning this lady over, and I'm asking her, "Hey, how do I find my spirit guide?" And she just looks at me, smiles, walks off. This frustrates me. I'm like, why don't you just walk off? You didn't give me any answer. So I walk to the next person, who is another woman, and I turn her over a little more quickly, like, "Hey, where's my spirit guide?" And she gives me this stern look, like, really? And then I feel guilty because I feel like was a little too aggressive in trying to get her attention. And then that guiltiness wakes me up. So these are my experiences. These are my first two experiences having a lucid dream. The next one is going to be very interesting. I end up meeting a character there that doesn't mean me that well. Did not mean me that well. But stay tuned, subscribe. I'm going to be dropping a lot more videos like this. I am in my reality, I am a person that is very interested in the origins of spirit, where spirit comes from, and how we can utilize spirit in order to bring about the changes in our lives that we've all, just like me, just like you, we all have been searching for. There's certainly ways for us to do that, and there's certainly ways for us to connect with ourselves to such a degree that no wall, and no obstacle could stop us. But this is the thing. This is one of the things that I'm interested in, and I'm starting this series, this Oneironautics series, to try and connect with other people who have these experiences, and because I am certainly a black sheep, and so I certainly have had most of this experience that I've had with spirit alone and by myself. But I am looking to change that. So if you're looking to change that too, here I am. Get in the comment section. Let me know, your experience, and any advice or any interpretation that you can drop, or decipher anything about my dream. I would absolutely be open to listening to what you have to say. This is Cosmoridius, and I will see you again.